everyone, thanks for joining in today. Just a refresher that anybody who is on here is to join me in the journey for discovery of wine. If you have an interest in it, if you want to learn more about it, but you want to know what certain wines taste like, what's it like pairing it with different foods, and you're a novice like me and you just want to see what this discovery is like, this is the channel. Today I've got my wines that I'm going to try, and the first one is a Beaujolais 2018. And the second one is a Riesling and Beaujolais 2017. I'm going to say this wrong because my German sucks. It's a WINE and POUTINE, I think is how I say it. I'm not sure. And today we're going to try it. We're going to try it now. And we're going to see what it's like as we go, what the appearance is like, what the nose, the intensity, the palate, and what I think ultimately afterwards. And then I'll go and I'm going to cook something that is, growing up, my grandmother used to cook it a lot. It was called bobotie. And I'm probably saying it wrong. So to any South Africans out there, I do apologize. And the best way that I describe that is like meatloaf, spicy, sweet meatloaf. And I'll take you through that. And then we'll come back and try these lovely wines again and see what it's like. So I'm going to try the Riesling first, because it's nice and cold and I want to put it back in the fridge. The thing to look at, and I'm still learning about this, like I said, I've done my wine course, is, well, it's actually what I love is the smell. It smells beautiful. I always find wine smells like a lovely perfume. It doesn't always taste like a nice perfume. If we were to follow the wine course I take, we'd look at the color of it. Is it pale? Is it medium? Is it deep? Now you can't really tell from here because I've got some sunlight coming into this area I've chosen to work from today. But I would actually say that's probably pale. So the intensity is pale. The color is lemon. You got options with wine. White wine, we're going to talk about specifically of lemon, golden, amber. Amber probably being the sweetest, or the sweeter it is, usually. And I'm sure somebody will tell me if I'm wrong as well, so please, constructively tell me that. It smells quite, there's a smoke on that, and I'm jumping on all the options, because under palate you've got sweetness, acidity, tannin, alcohol, and yes, I'm looking at my notes, body, flavor intensity, flavor characteristics, and finish. And usually the smoked and oaked smell is one of the tertiary or secondary flavors that you would smell. The intensity to me is now when you're smelling it. And I find it light, actually. Light on the nose. Now here's the best bit, trying it. It's appley. Smells like an orchard. So green fruit, gooseberry. I would say there's some floral there as well. And one step I missed was going into the aromas a bit deeper. But to me, and this is where I need to separate it out still, the intensity, the aroma, and the flavors and the palate kind of start to go hand in hand. But as you learn more and more about wine, you'd be a pro at separating all that out. I'm not. It took me a long time when I first started this wine course to remember to take your time drinking it and enjoying it. I think it's acidic. Strong, 12.5 percentage alcohol. There's sort of a medicinal taste to this, but cream, if you said a creamy taste or creamy textures, that's the secondary and aroma flavors that you're then smelling, and that's after it's fermented and post winemaking. So that's what's been sitting, taking shape after the bulk of it's been done. One thing that kind of comes up if there's a tertiary an aroma flavor is petrol. And I do smell a bit of that. Like I said, it smelled medicinal earlier, but I think it's more like chemically, it's petrol-y. It's tart. This is a Riesling, and Rieslings vary. And traditionally, I tend to have Rieslings that tend to be more on the sweet side. This is not. This is more on the dry side, and I find it quite tart. So we'll see how this works afterwards with the bobotie, which is a mince base, beef based. I'm going to take a second. Next one is the Beaujolais 2018. Now I have to be honest, when I do these, I'm not sure if I'll always be doing 2 bottles of wine. This smells, there's a twist off. Because I still have to work and I have a daytime job, so I can't drink all these bottles. So it might just be one. Looking at the color, I'd say it's almost medium. The one thing they teach you in the wine course that I took is that you have to be decisive. You can't say it's pale to medium, because these are notes that you're ultimately, if you're very good at your job and very serious in the winemaking industry, that you'd be using to make your notes to rate the wine that would then go out for publication and stuff. Like I said, I'm a novice and I'm nowhere near there. So you have to be decisive. If I were to be honest with myself, I'd say, oh, that looks pale to medium. But looking at it and having to be decisive according to the teachings, I'd go with medium. So the intensity is medium. The color. So again, with reds, first of all, with reds, intensity and appearance is pale, medium, or deep are your options. With the color, your red options for red wines are purple, ruby, garnet, or tawny. This is obviously not tawny, and it's usually quite an older wine or one that is tawny. This is a fairly new wine, so I'd be shocked if it was even garnet in appearance. But looking at this, I'm going to say, I have to say ruby, I think. Kind of looks purple. No, I'm going to go with ruby. There, decisiveness, ruby. Intensity now. I would actually say that's a medium intensity on the nose. It smells like berries, strawberries. Reminds me of spending the cottage in the summer, picking raspberries in Canada, up in Tobermory. For those who've been, you know what I mean. You know how awesome that is. For those who haven't, if you're ever near there, go. It smells quite sweet. I'd say very berry, very raspberries, blackberries. I might even say cherries. I'd say vanilla, and vanilla is the secondary flavors, which again is what happens after post-fermentation winemaking. Well, it's a bit sweet, so I don't know if it would be vanilla that I'm smelling or caramel. This is how I'm a complete novice, because it would take time to learn all that. I'll let you know when I start the next course. All right, let's do the best bit now. Tasting. So I think it's off dry, the sweetness. The acidity is low. It's probably a bit cool, actually. I've had it in a nice little area of my house to stay room temperature, but I'm not sure if it could just be a little bit more room temperature. Acidity was low, I said that. Tannin. I think the tannin's medium. Same with the alcohol. The body. See, I didn't do the body with the white Riesling that I did. I just realized. I do apologize. I'll make sure we do that when we get to the cooking bit. The body is medium. And I think a Beaujolais, from my rudimentary experience, tends to be light or medium anyway. It's a good drinkable wine kind of thing. It smells lovely. And again, so now it's talking about the flavor. Is it light? Is it medium? Is it pronounced? I think it's light, even though I've been saying everything's medium. No, it'll be, I'll say medium, and the finish is medium. And the conclusions, well, I'm going to save the conclusions for after, when we do it with the food pairing of the bobotie. It's a nice wine. I'm going to have to get my neighbours around to help me drink this in a minute. Right, let's do the cooking element of the show.